Ángel, mira, here's your sum I forgot to give you last class. Excellent job. Shows how excellent you are.
What was your grade in the exam?
40.
But it was so easy. You're such a useless guy. 40? That's disappointing. You're such a stupid.
In order to extend our research and have a wider perspective, we decided to interview some teachers.
I don't agree. I think like most schools try to focus on, the students having like a sort of complete education, not only academic but like as individuals as well.
The role of a school is to prepare students for whatever they're doing after school. If it means going to the university or getting a job or continuing with their education. So the role of the school is to provide academic training, of course, and preparation, and give opportunities to students to try other kinds of activities and really discover who they are.
Okay, so you think that's not the job of the school?
I think the job of the school is to prepare students to focus on a balance of academic and other kinds of experiences and activities so that students are healthy, strong, and they begin to know who they are so that they can make decisions when they move into the workforce or into academic studies universities.
Well, I think that nowadays it has changed a bit. Although academic issues are really, really important, nowadays schools are also making an effort to teach students other skills related with values and how to get along with people and be part of a society.
Well, I think that is not true. I think it's a balance between values and academic success. You know, this school always has been very academic, but from like I think 10 or 15 years ago, they focus more on values than on academic success. So I think what I really think is that it's a good balance between both.
Well, I think it's a balance, and I think the school has sort of tried to portray that over the years. Academic achievement and discipline and overall academic performance has always been a priority in school, but also parallel with that, teaching students about values, about what's the right thing to do. So I believe it's a balance between the two.
That's a good question. Well, it has to be throughout the whole like school life, I don't think you can solve it just with having like one ethics class, in I don't know 9th grade and that's it. I think it has to be like a philosophy of the education system in general, like sort of trying to like form good people, honest people. It has to be like policy, I think. Like it has to be within the policy of the schools or the Secretaría de Educación or the ministry, like they have to. It has to be something that goes throughout the whole program.
Hey, that's a good question. I think you are putting the blame or the responsibility of all ethics preparation on schools, and you have to consider there's also a family, there's a society, there are other cultural and societal factors that determine who we are and what kinds of decisions we make and what we're doing with students as they're growing into young people. Schools, of course, have a responsibility, and that means developing opportunities or challenges for students to learn to make ethical decisions or any kind of decision. Young people are able to make decisions even when they're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and schools need to be able to think about what kinds of decisions can children make and help them practice making those decisions that are in low-stakes situations where there are not big consequences. When you're in kindergarten, your decisions maybe don't have big consequences, but you practice determining your criteria and making decisions.
Okay, and what opportunities do you think this can be like seen?
That has to do with things as easy as if a student drops something, who's responsible for picking it up? And there's a phenomenon called the magic hand. And parents and teachers and adults and grandparents pick up the dropped fork, and the student sees that they don't have to solve the problem because someone else solved the problem. I think the main thing is giving young people the opportunity to solve their own problems, to explore their own options, and live with the consequences.
I believe that it's always important to reach an equilibrium, right? I think it's undeniable that moral education, ethical education is very, very important in the sense that you're part of a community. So then I think that just as the school does, it is important to have a program that teaches about values and how to be a good human being.
Well, in our society, that is very difficult because our society right now is having troubles with morality. I think that the school, the rules, there is like in the agenda, there is like something that is called pay, and if that rules, they thought about morality. I think if they focus on that to follow the rules, I think that it will improve, well, the behaving and the way the kids look to morality. But I think that is a big problem here in our country.
Well, I think it's always good to remind students why they're doing the things that they're doing, because I feel like a lot of the times students are just doing things just because they're asked to. There needs to be more time to reflect upon actions and see the consequences. So lately it's been a trend over the years that students, when they do something wrong, there's less of a consequence, and if you cannot consciously judge something as being bad because there's a consequence, it's hard, especially for little kids. Now little kids basically can do a lot of things and they're not corrected in that behavior. They're not told this is right, this is wrong. So it starts from the beginning. And if you're not educated or trained properly from an early start, it's very difficult later as a teenager and as an adult to judge what's right or wrong, especially if there's no consequence. And that goes along with discipline.
Well, my school life was cool. I had fun, you know, like had a good group of friends. I mean, I was friends with like everybody in the class. So yeah, I don't know, like every day hanging out with your friends is always good fun. The price you have to pay is to study, you know, like so yeah, I had fun. And I think the school like sort of, well, it gave me like really good friends. So like a social life, you know, and today the people I graduated with are in all different industries, lots of different companies, and you know, so like the networking you do in school is very important, and also in university, the networking you do there is very, very important as well. But yeah, I don't know, sort of like the discipline, work discipline, I think like, yeah, my morals, you know, like my sort of ethical things as well. Sports, fortunately after school I didn't really do much. I didn't do sports again, which is a shame, but yeah.
I actually went to several schools. My family moved a lot when I was growing up. I went to 6 different schools by the time I graduated from high school. So I didn't have a single school life experience in any way. We went to school, we had our classes, we had some extra things, we had PE class, we played volleyball and things like that, but our school wasn't as focused on forming people as maybe what we're seeing in our schools today. I think the most important thing was having teachers who cared about what they were doing. And I don't remember my classes as much as I remember the people. I remember people respected me and people trusted me and people pushed me. And that's what makes a difference.
I'm really grateful with the school I studied here a long time ago already, and I think most of what I am nowadays is basically because of school. I learned to be disciplined, responsible, And in terms of values, I have very good friends. My friends are the ones that I made here when I was at school. Right? So I think the school was something very important in my life and helpful.
I think that the school is excellent to make good citizens. And the students from the school are very good professionals and very good citizens. And I think that that helped to the society.
Well, school life was great back in the day. I graduated 20 years ago, just over 20 years. And the school has always been very strict and always wants students to succeed academically. But there weren't as many subjects that were important as they are now. So nowadays that can contribute to a lot of stress in students as opposed to when it was my time. We still had the same subjects, but not every subject was as important as it is now. So, and it made me a very organized person, disciplined person, somebody that perseveres regardless of what the circumstances are. So also life experience teaches you those things, but school is good to sort of make you the strong individual that I believe I am today.
To synthesize, it is important to emphasize upon the fact that schools carry out a relevant role in society since they target academic success. However, essential values are also a really important factor in order to raise human beings that contribute not only with their intellectual skills, but also to understand what is not written in the books. We need to be conscious that whereas students represent only the 2% of the world population nowadays, they constitute the 100% of our future.